Adam Britton was a respected crocodile expert in Australia, but what he went on to do would shock the world. Adam Britton was born in Yorkshire, England in 1971. He was educated at Queen Elizabeth Grammar School in Wakefield. Adam developed an early fascination with reptiles, particularly crocodiles, which led him to study zoology at the University of Leeds, from where he graduated in 1992. He subsequently gained a PhD in zoology from the University of Bristol in 1996. But his dream was always to escape the UK and research crocodiles. So that same year, Adam relocated to the dusty plains of the Northern Territory, Australia, home to the biggest saltwater crocodile population on the planet. Adam's academic career blossomed as he pursued research on crocodilian behavior and ecology. His passion and expertise quickly earned him recognition in the scientific community. Britton's work with crocodiles extended beyond academia. He became a prominent figure in wildlife conservation, frequently collaborating with government agencies and private organizations to protect these ancient predators. His research was instrumental in understanding crocodile behavior, and he was often called upon to advise on matters related to human-crocodile conflicts. Britton's reputation as a leading crocodile expert was solidified by his numerous publications, media appearances, and his role as a consultant on wildlife documentaries. He swam with the apex predators in the wild, lent his pet crocodile Smaug to countless films and documentaries, and even hosted his role model, Sir David Attenborough, at his home in Darwin, Australia, all the while preaching the need for greater respect for the creatures. In 2006, he started a crocodile consultancy business alongside his wife, and later also took on an adjunct research role at Charles Darwin University. Over Britton's decades in Darwin's croc research fraternity, many of his peers, who initially thought he was a shy but nice enough type of guy, came to view him as an antisocial odd man out. John Pomeroy, who was one of the field research organizers for Crocodilis Park, said that he was quite up himself. So he wasn't a particularly popular person, but he was reasonably good at his job. Professor Webb had seen himself as a mentor of sorts and gave Adam his start in the industry and the opportunity to build filming expertise. But Britton burned all bridges when he quit. He said that Adam was an egotist who passed much of the work of the team at Crocodilis Park as his own. He would say, "Guys like Adam are just trying to get on the news." Mr. Sidlow, who alongside Adam co-founded an attack database called Crocbite in 2013, told the BBC a similar story. He said that Adam loved to take credit for the archive, but had never contributed a single incident to it. He merely paid for the website domain. But even though he had some ups and downs with his peers, Adam continued to have success in his field. When Sir David Attenborough's Life in Cold Blood documentary series came knocking in 2006, Adam built a specialized enclosure for Smaug that allowed the program to capture groundbreaking footage of crocodiles mating. For Adam, it was a dream come true to work with his idol. His expertise was also sought after abroad. Adam helped measure the world's longest crocodile, captured in the Philippines in 2011, and in 2016 accompanied TV host Anderson Cooper on a dive with wild crocodiles in Botswana for an episode of CBS's 60 Minutes. Despite his professional success, Britton harbored a dark secret that would eventually come to light. Behind the facade of a dedicated scientist and conservationist was a man with a deeply disturbing obsession. Britton's fascination with reptiles had evolved into something far more sinister, an obsession with torturing and killing animals, particularly dogs. Adam joined a Telegram group where he could communicate with other sick, like-minded individuals under the guise of anonymity. Telegram is an encrypted app, making it difficult to find its users, so he felt safe there. In this group, Adam would share his twisted story. When he was around 13, he knew that he was different. He began getting strange, sadistic thoughts about animals in his head, which he knew were wrong, but couldn't stop obsessing about them. Then one day, he just couldn't resist his sadistic urges, so he snuck into a stable and molested a horse. He was then able to suppress those urges until 2014, 8 years before his arrest in 2022. In the Telegram messages, he would say,
"I was sadistic as a child to animals, but I had repressed it. In the last few years, I let it out again, and now I can't stop. I don't want to stop."
He then went on to say,
"My own dogs a family, and I have limits. I only badly mistreat other dogs. I have no emotional bond to them. They are toys, pure and simple, and there are plenty more where they came from.
Using online marketplace Gumtree Australia, which is like Craigslist in the US, he would find people who were looking to give away their beloved pets because they couldn't look after them anymore. These people were searching for someone who could give them a good home. Sometimes the dog's former owners would reach out to Adam to ask him for updates, but he would tell them lies. He would tell them that the dogs are having a great time, and he would send them old photos of them. But in reality, most of the time, the dogs were already dead, after having experienced indescribable suffering inside a shipping container fitted out with recording equipment, which Britton called his torture room. Over the 18 months leading up to his arrest, he tortured at least 42 dogs, killing 39 of them. He began getting more active in the Telegram group, and the group was growing in members. He would even start teaching these people about how to do these evil things and not get caught. He would share disgusting images and videos of himself committing cruelty against animals for his own pleasure, until one day he made a mistake. Usually, he would blur out anything that could incriminate him or give away his location in the images and videos. But in one of those videos where he was torturing 8 puppies, he must have forgotten to blur out a particular detail, and one of the Telegram group members were able to figure out which city he was in and contacted the police to tip them off. This tip led to a deeper investigation, and eventually authorities obtained a warrant to search Britton's property. But what they found was beyond anything they could have imagined. During the search of Britton's property, investigators discovered a hidden area where he had been carrying out his gruesome activities. The space, referred to by Britton as his torture room, was a shipping container equipped with cameras, tools, and other instruments of cruelty. Videos recovered from the scene revealed that Britton had been capturing, torturing, sexually abusing, and killing animals, primarily dogs, for his own twisted pleasure. The footage showed Britton inflicting unimaginable pain on his victims, often prolonging their suffering for hours. Upon further searches, they also found images of child abuse on his computer. The discovery sent shockwaves through the community and the wider world. The man who had been celebrated for his contributions to wildlife conservation was now exposed as a sadistic evil abuser. The evidence was overwhelming, and Britton was arrested and charged with multiple counts of animal cruelty, including bestiality. The legal proceedings against Adam Britton were closely followed by the media and the public. The case was particularly shocking, given Britton's background and the extent of his crimes. Prosecutors presented a mountain of evidence, including the videos recovered from Britton's property, testimonies from witnesses, and expert analysis of the injuries sustained by the animals. Britton's defense team attempted to argue that he suffered from a severe mental disorder that impaired his judgment. They claimed that his actions were the result of a psychological breakdown brought on by years of stress and isolation in the field of wildlife conservation. However, this argument was met with skepticism by both the prosecution and the public. The premeditated nature of Britton's crimes and the sheer scale of his abuse made it difficult to attribute his actions solely to mental illness. Throughout the trial, Britton showed little remorse for his actions. He remained largely silent, only speaking when prompted by his legal team. His lack of emotion further fueled public outrage, with many calling for the maximum penalty under the law. In September 2023, after a lengthy trial, 53-year-old Adam Britton was found guilty on all counts of animal cruelty. During the trial, the details of his cruelty were revealed, and it made people cry in court. Some people even had to walk out in tears. When the judge handed down the sentence, he described Britton's actions as heinous and depraved. He was only sentenced to 10 years in prison with a 6-year non-parole period. The judge also ordered Britton to undergo psychiatric evaluation and treatment during his incarceration. Needless to say, he was also banned for life from keeping animals. The revelation of Adam's crimes had a profound impact on the scientific community, particularly within the field of zoology and wildlife conservation. Colleagues and institutions that had once lauded Adam for his work were quick to distance themselves from him. Several of his publications were retracted, and his name was removed from ongoing research projects. Also following the trial, his wife left him after over 25 years of marriage and changed her name. She says that she was completely unaware of the things he was doing to animals and there was no proof to indicate otherwise. The public reaction to Britton's conviction was one of widespread outrage and disgust. Animal rights organizations were particularly vocal in their condemnation of Britton's actions. Many used the case as a rallying point to call for stronger animal welfare laws and harsher penalties for those who commit acts of cruelty against animals. Some even called for the death penalty, despite it being outlawed in Australia since 1985. In the wake of the trial, there was a surge in public interest in animal welfare issues. Petitions calling for stricter animal protection laws garnered hundreds of thousands of signatures, and several governments around the world began reviewing their existing legislation in response to the outcry. Britton's case also highlighted the importance of vigilance in the animal care and conservation fields. It served as a reminder that even those who appear to be dedicated to the welfare of animals can harbor dark and dangerous tendencies. This has led to increased scrutiny of individuals working in these fields, with more thorough background checks and psychological evaluations being implemented in some organizations. Adam Britton's fall from grace is a tragic and horrifying story that serves as a cautionary tale. It is a stark reminder that appearances can be deceiving, and that even those who dedicate their lives to the protection of animals can be capable of unimaginable cruelty. Britton's legacy is now forever tainted by his actions. The contributions he made to crocodile conservation and zoology are overshadowed by the atrocities he committed. His name, once associated with scientific achievement, is now synonymous with cruelty and evil. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe for more videos.